Hey everyone, welcome back to LT Gaming. My name is Tom and today I've got something exciting lined up for all you strategy fans out there. We're diving into a preview of Sanctuary Shattered Sun, continuing our deep dive into the RTS game genre. If you haven't already, make sure to check out some of our other recent videos like our upcoming RTS titles, forgotten gems of the genre, and also those classic strategy games every RTS fan should revisit. And while you're here, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to stay updated on all things gaming. Now, Sanctuary Shattered Sun is shaping up to be a classic RTS experience, packed with features like strategic zoom, a streaming economy, simulated projectiles and, of course, massive scale battles. We're talking about commanding hundreds upon hundreds of units as you lead your forces to crush the opposition on an epic battlefield. What makes this one even more exciting is there's people like Chris Taylor, the legendary creator behind Total Annihilation and Supreme Commander, and he's dubbed Sanctuary the spiritual successor to the games he developed while at Gas Powered Games. With high praise like that, this title has all the potential to be the next big thing in large scale RTS gaming. The awesome team behind the game generously granted me access to the demo version, which is still in the very early stages, but gives plenty of content to explore and a lot to unpack here for you LT gamers. There's a lot to get hyped about, so let's dive in. Alright, let's kick it off with the premise of this game. The year is 2758, and humanity's greatest achievement, the nearly completed megastructure called Sanctuary, now encircles the sun, also known as the Dyson Sphere. This colossal metal platform was designed to be a beacon of hope and shelter over 1 trillion lives. But despite the grandeur, Sanctuary is far from the utopia it was supposed to be. The remnants of war-torn cities are scattered across its surface, and they stand as haunting silhouettes against the void of space. In this vast world, you'll have the chance to align with one of 3 distinct factions, all battling for control of this incredible Dyson Sphere. There's the EDA, the Chosen and the Guard, each with their own unique strategies, units and weaponry. Whether you prefer calculated tactics or overwhelming firepower, the goal is still the same: to dominate and secure ultimate control over the solar system. I've got to say, the use of the Dyson Sphere in the narrative is very fascinating to me. It's not something I've seen before, and it really opens the door for some awe-inspiring weaponry and large-scale conflicts, which I'll be showing off later in this video. Now, let me just say up front that Sanctuary Shattered Sun is still in the very early stages, so I'm not going to be nitpicking around any rough edges or giving a harsh critique. It's way too early for that. Instead, I'm going to focus on the core RTS mechanics that are already shining through, what I'm enjoying so far, and where I see the potential as this game develops. The game clearly follows in the footsteps of Total Annihilation and Supreme Commander, staying true to that particular branch of the sci-fi RTS family tree. The core of your economy revolves around metal extractors and energy production, both essential resources that fuel everything from unit construction to upgrades, and it's a very familiar setup, and it's one that never fails to hit the right notes for RTS fans and me as well. For those who love the old school RTS vibe, you're in for a treat with this one. It brings back some of the classic beloved features like tech levels, a flow economy that keeps everything moving, and those classic centerpiece command units that can turn the tide of a battle. But what's really interesting how it builds upon the foundation of this with new elements like they promise with drone swarms, which are going to add a fresh twist to the battlefield. The game leans in heavily to macro management, which is a welcome shift for players who prefer to focus on the grand strategy over the micromanagement of individual units. You've got tools like construction queues, savable base templates, and even the ability to issue orders to units before they're fully built. This allows you to plan ahead and focus on the bigger picture, like orchestrating your massive assaults or defensive maneuvers. In fact, most of my time while I was playing, I found myself zoomed out, taking advantage of the strategic zoom feature to draw up battle lines, execute sweeping flanks, and command large-scale movements. And the scale is absolutely massive, I gotta say. Sometimes the sheer number of units on the screen was staggering. It's exactly the type of gameplay that's going to appeal to fans of this large-scale warfare. One feature that really added to the immersion was the use of physically simulated projectiles, and it really leads to some incredible moments in battles. As a player, you can expect to control up to 10,000 units on enormous 40 by 40 kilometer maps, which is just mind-blowing to me. The camera system with this zoom feature allows you to seamlessly manage everything from a wide orbital view, but you can also go close up, really get into your light scout vehicles, see the rivets and all, so it's about giving you full control over the battlefield and prevent you from feeling overwhelmed. Alright, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the super weapons in the game, because the ones I tried in the demo were nothing short of spectacular. If you manage to construct one of these ultimate and very expensive weapons, you'll have the power to not just annihilate your enemies, but also obliterate the map itself. Imagine tearing the very foundations out from beneath your foes and watching as they crumble into the sun itself. It is as epic as it sounds. The game's high-tech Dyson Sphere also has a degree of control over the environment, so you can hijack the climate systems. So I snap froze the entire battlefield and turned the water into solid ground, allowing my land units to cross. So this adds a whole veneer that could reshape your strategy in an instant. Both of these super weapons I used left a huge impression on me, and I can't wait to see more of them. When it comes to an RTS, the way it looks and sounds can really make or break the experience. And while Sanctuary Shattered Sun is still in the early stages, there was already a lot to appreciate. Visually, it's hard to give a final verdict this early, but the battles definitely feel intense and visceral. The animations and unit designs did a great job of pulling me into the action. Whether it's a barrage of missiles streaking across the sky or energy beams slicing through the battlefield, I really felt the impact of every hit. The moment when that massive super weapon shattered the landscape, it was absolutely jaw-dropping to me. As for sound design, I was really impressed. With my headphones on, it felt like I was in the middle of a full-scale war. Explosions, gunfire, and the raw power of those massive weapons all came together in a symphony of destruction. And the sheer scale of the game was perfectly matched by the sound effects, amplifying the sense of scope and chaos. And the music, I cannot fault at all. It really set the tone for those epic confrontations, and I felt that DNA back to Total Annihilation Supreme Commander, adding depth and atmosphere to the battles. It was a perfect complement to the overall experience. So I had the chance to dive into 3 different game modes, and each one gave me a unique glimpse of what the game is going to offer. First up was the performance demo, designed to show off the sheer scope and scale of the game. 4 factions, endlessly spawning units, all converging in a massive clash at the centre of the map. And while it did push my CPU to the limits, I can say it was pretty impressive to watch the chaos unfold on this grand scale. Next up was a preset scenario where I got to play around with the high-tech units and experience the thrill of wielding those massive super weapons. The mode really let me see the firepower of the advanced units up close, and it definitely didn't disappoint. And then there was the survival mode, which felt like the most classic RTS experience. I built a base, I defended against waves of increasingly tough enemies, and this mode gave me a feel for how the game's going to play in a more traditional setting. It definitely reminded me of TA and Supreme Commander, with the focus on high tech levels especially. I loved how a few T3 units could absolutely obliterate swarms of lower tier enemies. It gives a sense of progression and strategy to the battles. Overall, I can't fault it. The gameplay was fun, and in the survival mode especially, I could feel how this game is taking shape from its classic RTS roots and evolving them in exciting ways. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. The devs are really eager to hear from the players, so if this video has piqued your interest, I recommend joining their Discord. I'll put the link below to stay updated and get involved. You can also wishlist this on Steam to help them out. Personally, I'm really excited to see how this one goes as its development progresses, and there's so much potential here. I'd love to hear your thoughts though. What do you think of the game so far? Drop a comment below, and if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to us for more content, and hit that bell for notifications. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye now.